Hi there, Finny Fogg here, with my friends Jenny and Hoppy. We're on a special trip in this balloon. We're attempting to fulfill conditions set forth in my great-grandfather's will to travel around the world in 79 days. Of course, we meet many interesting people. We've drifted over a fishing village on the coast of Japan.
Where are we, Finny?
We're approaching the little Japanese port of Sajima on the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, I know about that place. The harbor is small, but it's quite typical of Japanese fishing villages.
Gee, an expert.
The people make their living from the sea.
Hey, we're drifting inland. On many of the Japanese islands we've seen, the interiors were rocky and mountainous. But here, the land is flat and low.
It obviously rains often in Sajima, which explains why everything is so green and lush.
It's beautiful. I understand the homes are quite old, but kept very clean. In the summer months, Sajima becomes a seaside resort for tourists. It's located only 100 kilometers, 62 miles, south of Yokohama.
I noticed that the village fishermen are of many different kinds.
Some own their own boats. Some own more than one and rent them out to other fishermen. Some fish on boats owned by large commercial fishing companies. The boats are generally small, but a few are the large trawler size.
This very old fisherman happily shows off his boat.
His face reflects the good life.
These boats look seaworthy, pretty rugged. Looks like they also use nets.
The men leave the fish in the water inside the nets until they need them.
Looks like some net fishing is done from the rocks along the shoreline.
Let's land and look around.
Good idea.
Notice the racks have been set up for drying of the latest catch. Seaweed has been laid out to dry.
This drying method has been done for centuries. Seaweed is a staple food in their diets and quite delicious.
You can bet keeping the boats in repair is a constant job. It makes the shoreline a busy place. Their homes are modern with electricity and many of the modern conveniences like we have in our homes. However, a few traditional customs persist. Everyone who enters the house must remove his shoes. A soft sock-like slipper or bare feet is then considered proper.
Just like mothers everywhere, the women take great pride in their homes. Men do none of the household chores.
I like that.
Girls begin early learning the art of preparing meals. Meals are a family occasion.
It looks like our smorgasbords.
Some of the dishes could be the black seaweed with mushrooms, various egg dishes, a soybean paste, many fish dishes.
Yeah. Some raw in a soy sauce, rice, raw string beans, and cakes. Some salty and some sweet. Yum, yum.
Let's look at some of the village people.
Like all mothers, these Japanese mothers are especially proud of and take great joy in their very small children.
But it's always the fishing that must come first.
That's right. The most commonly caught fish is a small one about the size of a sardine.
Look at that. The fish are hung to dry on lines.
They are actually tied by string onto wire lines.
They're loading them into large flat wooden boxes.
What the family doesn't need for their own use is sent into the village by truck to be sold. Very large catches are dried in the same manner and sent on to the canneries of a larger port like Osaka.
There are some children waiting for a train.
They have lots of trains in Japan.
Look at that. Their depots are sure modern.
Right, and designed for people and freight. But some of the larger boats from the smaller fishing ports bring their catches by boat and dock at the regular piers.
The city seems to have lots of bustling businesses.
Yeah, like this cannery district. It's got to be of importance to the city.
It certainly is. After the fish are unloaded, they're sorted by hand into precise sizes.
They're preparing the fish just as they did in the small villages.
Yes, and they're packed for shipping to even more distant cities, especially in the interior.
It sure takes a lot of ice for the shipping by railway freight cars.
Hey, look at that. There's a prize fish of a tuna species brought in for sale and shipping.
Now that's a big catch.
I like the markets. There's enormous quantities of merchandise in stores just like ours. Note the use of traditional dress and Western dress.
But back in Sajima, there's the usual activity in the harbor.
And the tourist season has started. It's camera time.
And in the village, people continued their daily activities.
Probably some in the traditional ways of life as they have for centuries.
I'd say Sajima itself will no doubt go on just as it has for centuries, too.
Before we leave, we should visit some Japanese children.
Good idea.
Okay, we'll do it first thing tomorrow.